Hello everyone, welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty, and the first of the month means it is kit building time for me as part of the design team over at the Counterfeit Kit Challenge group. So let's go ahead and check out the inspiration for this month's kit build. And here we are at papersandbeyond.ca, and I'm not familiar with this company at all. The kit that was chosen by our fearless leader Lisa for the inspiration this month is called Follow Your Bliss. So I will have all the links for you to find this stuff directly, as well as information for the Counterfeit Kit group if you're interested in building your own kits from the supplies you have on hand. So I'm noticing right off the bat that this kit is full of Vicki Boutin and Jen Hadfield, and those are both two designers that I follow and love and have quite a supply of their products already in my stash. And in fact, I'm looking at some of these Vicki Boutin pattern papers, and they are from the Field Notes collection, and I believe I have some of that stash sitting around, so I'm likely to just throw that right in my kit. So let's see what else I can be inspired from in these kits. I've got all the images open to take a closer look. So here again is the overall picture, but let's dive in a little bit deeper. Here are the pattern paper A-sides, and this is the Vicki Boutin, and up here is the Jen Hadfield, and then the B-sides of the paper. So this might be a good spot to pull in extra papers into this kit. So I might be able to find some extra stripes in my supplies that I can add to boost up this kit. And then we have the Embellishment Pack from Vicki Boutin, the die cut ephemera pack. And you know, one of the things I'm noticing is the color palette here. So we've got some royal leaning into navy blues here. We've got softer pinks, and you know, oh, there's the yellow and the bright of yellow. I was noticing, if we go back here at the overall kit view, I was noticing the yellows, the kind of royal blues, and then these pinky reds going on. So I'm definitely seeing that show up here in the Embellishment Pack. And then we have chipboard stickers from that Vicki Boutin collection. So in terms of motifs, I'm noticing feathers, flowers, and Vicki Boutin always has birds and butterflies in her collection. So those are motifs that could get pulled in. And then there's watercolor elements, which she loves and I love as well. And then we saw that already. Let's keep going. So sticker book from Jen Hadfield. Again, this one is full of icons and motifs that we could draw inspiration from. Peacocks and birds, more florals, globes, kitchen devices. So maybe some cooking elements here, definitely with the cakes and the tea kettles. Oh, that's an interesting direction to go. April is also Easter time, so perhaps I need to think about Easter, even though this isn't specifically Easter. But when I started thinking about baking and cooking, it definitely makes me think about holidays with my family. And then we have some gold phrase stickers from Jen Hadfield. I believe that's Jen Hadfield. And I have some leftover gold phrase stickers and thickers in my supply, so I'll probably piece together bits and pieces of already partially used packages there. And then some word buttons from Chamel, I believe that is, and I love wood buttons, and my supply is almost completely empty of wood buttons, so I'll see what I can manage to piece together there as well. So going back to the overall look, what am I noticing about this kit? I'm noticing that supplies that I already have that definitely match this kit for sure. I'm noticing the color palette of blue, red, and pinky, or blue, yellow, and the pinky red. I'm noticing definitely naturey elements with florals and butterflies and birds. And then the Jen Hadfield brought up the idea of food and cooking, and that led me into the idea of Easter. So with all those thoughts in mind, I'll show you what I put together for this kit. I will go ahead and pop up a graphic of that pattern paper line as we go through this. Now it turns out I did not have the Field Notes collection, but I do have the Vicki Boutin Fernwood collection, which has a lot of overlap. So I grabbed that, and I pulled the floral from that, I pulled a green from that, and I also pulled a second one that I thought was all green, but when I pulled it out, it had some blue in there too, and I thought I was going to set it aside, but you'll see it come back. Now, instead of that Vicki Boutin pen and pencil motif, I have this piece of paper that's like cut off pencils. And then we have those feathers, and I turned out I did have a piece of paper that had feathers in my collection, but I also pulled the Simple Stories piece that is ferns, but it looks like feathers. And then we have that circular print, so I pulled out more of the Fernwood, a butterfly print I grabbed from Simple Stories, and then instead of that bird print, I grabbed this lemon print, and that's because there's lemons in that Jen Hadfield sticker book. Now we're moving into the pattern papers that don't have a direct correlation, but that Jen Hadfield sticker book had a lot of vibes in it that had to do with hominess and cooking, and that led me into Easter. So I pulled out the shirt print because that is homey, and I have a story to tell with that paper. I pulled out the cups, the teacups, because that is on the cooking line. Now that gnome print I pulled out because when we get to the embellishments, there's some other gnomes in there. And then that final critter print reminds me of Easter and spring. Then if we take a quick look at the B-sides of the pattern paper, we can see that actually a lot of those B-sides are going to work. And this is where I make that change, because on the B side of that green Vicki Boutin paper is some wood grains, and I'm going to save that for the forgery on the 4th project. So come back on the 4th to check that out. So I tucked in that other ombre blue-green piece back into the kit. Moving on to the embellishments, I grabbed some Jen Hadfield cut-aparts because that was one of the pattern papers in there. And then I also had this Sweet Webster's Pages cut-apart, so I grabbed that. It has some of the same vibes going on, so we'll see if I can get that used up. I grabbed the Fernwood Embellishment Pack, and that's where you can see that gnome hanging out in there, and that's why I pulled that gnome paper. I did have these Jen Hadfield gold puffy letter phrases, so those are going in there like I mentioned. I grabbed some corrugated cardboard because those wood buttons had a lot of texture to them, so I'm going to pull in the wood texture with corrugated cardboard, wood veneer pieces, and I have both a stash of general wood veneer and a stash of kind of nature-inspired wood veneer. So I've got some birds, some butterflies, and I thought I had some feather pieces in here. So I go back and look again, and at first I didn't find them, but you'll see in just a second that I do manage to find them and pull them out. So, of course, I need some alphabets. I did pull some light teal because that's a nice springy color. It matches some of the Jen Hadfield, and then some multicolored alphas, as well as my standard homemade white and black alphas. And there's those feathers that I found, so they made it in there. And then as I was looking at the overall view of my kit, I decided I needed more texture. So I grabbed twine, and this washi tape was on my desk from my recent washi tape review video. I'll link you up to that if you haven't seen that yet. And so I did add that to my kit. So that rounds off my kit build for the month of April. And like I mentioned, I will be back on the 4th with that forgery on the 4th project. So I do hope you'll join me then. I would appreciate a thumbs up if you got anything interesting or useful out of this video because it does help my channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.